world of bad movies, two follically challenged men will stop at nothing to share their opinions of them. Their wives are tired of listening, but are you? This isn't the podcast you deserve, but it's the one you need. Prepare yourself for bald guys and bad movies.
Welcome to Bald Guys and Bad Movies, episode 71. I am Troy. Here with my good buddy,
Mike Stella.
Mike
Stella. You're a champion, Mike Stella. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your sweatshirt's telling me that too. Champion.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
How you doing?
That's a solid dad joke right there.
I'm a solid dad. What were we just talking about? We were talking about
the Oscars.
We may do an Oscar special.
Yeah.
If you guys want us to do an Oscar special, leave a comment wherever you enjoy this podcast. Let us know if that's something you want our stupid fucking opinion on the Oscars.
Or shoot us an email at baldguysbadmovies@gmail.com.
There you go.
You can do that too.
We'd love to hear from you. Mike, this is a special review.
Oof.
This is a special request review.
Yeah,
not
it's
special like short bus special. Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say it is short bus special.
Or diseased mind, diseased maniacs. Autumn, our good friend Autumn, requested we review this movie. Autumn
subjected us to this.
Autumn loves this movie. This is
asterisk loves. She's obsessed with it.
Obsessed.
Yes, there's I don't know if she loves. Does she say she loves it? Does she? Okay, I don't. Maybe.
We endured what Malcolm McDowell endured in Clockwork Orange, I think. I don't know about you, but
it definitely had the eye drops out.
There
was
some pain, physical pain I felt. My darling daughter, Chloe, she watched it with me.
Oh,
she agreed to watch it because she's the one always telling us,
right, we should do bad movies.
You guys should really do really bad movies. And at the end of this one, I'm like, Nanda, you see why it's not so easy to do a really bad movie? Because she was suffering as much as I was. So
was her response, yes, I understand now?
Yes. But she still wants us to do bad movies. She enjoys it. She's a masochist. She enjoys the pain, I guess. Troubling. So without further ado, Mike, what are we reviewing today?
Today, we are reviewing the 1982 musical masterpiece that is The Pirate Movie.
Only one movie will have this sound. The Pirate King! And only one movie will have Christy McNichol and Christopher Atkins singing. Loving, laughing, leaping, and swinging their way through time in the biggest, most original movie in 100 years, The Pirate Movie.
Pirate? You mean like walking into playing buried treasure, hack, slash off with his head and the Jolly Richard and everything?
Rid me of these villains, and Mabel's hand is yours.
The Pirate Movie. It's more than a musical.
Man, I'm older than the Beatles, but I'm younger than the Rolling Stones.
It's more than an adventure. And it's definitely more than a pirate movie.
I want a happy ending.
Give me a happy ending every time. Don't be unhappy, everything will work out fine. Give me a happy ending.
The Pirate Movie. It's more movie than ever before.
Not bad.
The Pirate Movie is a 1982 Australian musical romantic comedy directed by Anakin. See, Anakin, the fucking dark side. You must be evil to have directed this. And starring Christopher Atkins and Christy McNichol, loosely based on Gilbert and Sullivan's 1879 comic opera, The Pirates of Penzance. The original music score is composed by Mike Bradley and Peter Sullivan. No relation to the Pirates of Penzance. Composer Arthur Sullivan. Penzance. The film performed far below expectations in initial release and generally reviewed very poorly, but fared far more positively with audiences. It has developed a cult following.
How did this fare well with audiences?
Well,
as in people just like became like enamored with the ridiculous horribleness that was this movie, or just people bought the DVD and VHS? Is that's what people are saying?
The interesting thing is, and I'll get into some of it later, maybe. Reading some of the reviews of the time, like one reviewer was like, it was an older person, and the theater was filled with like younger people, and they were laughing their asses off.
Jesus.
And they were like, I guess this isn't for my generation.
And there were some funny things in it. You know what I mean? You know what I'll tell you, like, can we just get into it? You don't need to review it to give it too much of it.
Wait. Let's just sum it up.
Okay.
Christopher Atkins plays a pirate orphan. He was an orphan who was captured by the pirates, and he had a 20-year contract, and now his contract's up, so he wants to go and...
Or is it?
Or, yeah, right. Don't ruin the twist, Mike. And then he wants to leave because he wants to destroy the pirates, but really he's just really horny. He really, really wants to get laid. Yeah. So enter Christy McNichol, or he wants to enter Christy McNichol. I don't know, however you look at it.
I mean, I think she wants it too. I mean, she's pretty hot to trot as well.
And then shenanigans. Turns out his contract's not up. He's forced to become a pirate again, and they raid her father's.
You gotta tell him why, though, because he was born on February 29th in a leap year. His contract isn't up for
That's right.
Yeah, for what, 84 years, because his birthday only comes around once every 4 years.
Listeners, Mike just finished watching this like 10 minutes ago. I watched it last night, and already it's evaporating from my mind.
And you're so lucky. I can't wait for that to happen.
You're right. That did happen. So, but anyway, it ends in a big, goofy, Blazing Saddles style like raid on the dad's house and hijinks and, pizza pies thrown around. And boy and girl wind up together. And I should say that this is all a dream. It opens
and it's all a dream. That's the whole thing. It's actually all a dream.
It opens in present day, 82.
Yeah, with the she's all that, situation where they take a hot chick, give her a bad haircut and glasses, and all of a sudden she's the ugly girl. Like,
I love she's walking around with that 80s boombox. I was more enamored in that setting with just looking at all like the 82 nostalgia.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. You know what I'm really sad about? The fact that I watched a version and it looked awful. Like, I could barely make out faces half the time, because it's on YouTube, by the way. It's free on YouTube. You don't have to pay or rent it or anything like that.
See, I knew I couldn't give it a fair shake if I had to endure it, because I knew it was going to be bad, but also watching a bad movie with like Crisco's smeared on the lens. So
I ended up watching it on my phone. So it was like a smaller picture, and so it like didn't look as bad because it was on a smaller format.
Yeah,
and it was fine, but I'm really sad that I didn't find that. I'm sad enough to watch it again by any means ever, but I'm just disappointed that when I did watch it, it looked so incredibly bad.
Well, Mike, are you saying we should like pause this review, let you go back and rewatch it, better quality?
No, hell
so you can give it a fair shake?
No,
because I think that's what you're kind of telling me here.
I can give it a fair shake, and it's believe me.
Like you shake the dew off the lily, like
I need to shake this fucking thing out of my head is what I need to do.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually happy that I watched it. I'm having fun reviewing it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, most of the musical numbers were absolutely awful. Yeah. That's one thing I'm gonna say. There was one musical number that I actually kind of liked. And it was the general. Yeah, the dad one. It was really good. I'm pretty sure they changed the lyrics because there's some racy lyrics in there, like, thrown in. But that song is in Pirates of Penzance. That's where I remember it from.
Papa!
Darling, this is my big number. I'll play along with this. Our lives may depend on it.
I comprehend contemporary culture, North American. I straighten more piratical erections than Boderican. I'm into Western, all the rest I've undergone analysis. I jog beyond decrepitude to permanent paralysis. My muse is into music with my credit, I'll not trouble you. From R&B to S&M, crossover, C&W, to grooving with the doobies in my Malibu white soul and tones. Man, I'm older than the Beatles, but I'm younger than the Rolling Stones.
And to honor my daughter, some of her thoughts. Mabel's dream is our nightmare. The end song was happy ending, and Chloe's like, yes, I'm happy it's ending. And without the songs, we only would have had endured 1 hour of torture. And she was so pissed that there was no mermaid.
Yeah, why were there no mermaids? That's like, it's prime for mermaids.
Yeah, that's low hanging fruit. You could have girls in bikini tops and, you know, cheaply made mermaid thingies. And
yeah, absolutely.
There was even a really awful sequence when he went underwater.
Oh my God, that part! I was like, how can we forget that to talk about that part?
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
And the little animated animal show, and it's so terrible. It's like the most horrible animation ever.
Oh my God, it's so bad. And like, I love how it's like shot in slow mo, and he's like kicking sand,
and the sand's
like you see,
totally
exactly.
like not affected by the water at all.
Oh, but what about the song that was playing during that?
Well, yeah, it was weird. Like
pumping and blowing. It was pumping and blowing.
Yeah.
And she sees like, I've been pumping and blowing for too long. I want to just find someone who I can, you know, be with forever. And I was just like, oh my God.
Just to keep love going. I'm done. I've had enough of pumping and the blowing.
Keep pumping.
Blowing.
Like, it's so funny. And she's...
And fun fact, the animated fish or whatever they were, it was supposed to be, maybe it would have been mermaids, but they were like the girls, you know, the girls that were like around.
Yeah, her sisters.
They were supposed to have a scene with him under the water. So for whatever reason, they cut it and added awful animation. So anyway.
Yeah, that was a funny sequence, I will say. Like, and not funny as in good, like funny as in peculiar. Let's just, yes, very, very peculiar.
And then there was like, what was the older woman on the boat who was like hot and horny for him?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember her name, but yeah, the wench.
But she was like, oh, I've been waiting for this moment for 20 years. And both Chloe and I are like, wait a minute. Since he was a fucking baby? This is some Twilight shit, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
She imprinted on him.
And I'll tell you what the problem with this film was. It couldn't decide whether it wanted to be like a straight comedy or a satire, in my opinion. And because every time it would go like way into satire, it was funny. And I actually enjoyed it. And I thought it was pretty funny. But when it would try and play it straight and do straight jokes instead of satire jokes, it just fucking fell flat. You know what I mean?
Because straight jokes relied on the strength of character and story for it to work. Whereas satire, it's almost like Naked Gun, right?
It's needed to be a Naked Gun. It's needed to be a Monty Python. You know what I mean?
Well, it became that, like, at the end. Like,
exactly.
The end battle, it was just, gloves are off. We're just going to say, fuck it. Let's just throw everything at it. I want to say, and I told Chloe this, Christopher Atkins and Chris McNichols, they were fine.
I think Christopher Atkins was okay. Christy McNichol she was great. Like, I actually really liked her. I thought she was funny.
Yeah, she was actually well written for the time in terms of she broke camera. She broke the wall, right? Fourth dimensional wall, Deadpool style, and would kind of wink at the audience and say something. And I like her line that this body's an 8, the mind's a 10.
Yeah,
right?
that was a great line.
There's some little nuggets of like, okay, this is cute. And Atkins, I say he did fine because he just played a doofus. He never broke the fourth wall.
Well, because it was her.
Yes, because it was her.
But actually, the Pirate King broke the fourth wall. At one point, he like looks into camera and like makes a little wink or something.
Oh, I thought when he was like jerking his codpiece at the fucking camera. I thought that broke the fourth wall.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, when he climbed the mast and
I know. No, but that was
shit.
But the funniest part is when he jumps and he stabs the sail. They're like, no, he ripped the sail again. God damn it. That was a funny little joke. I actually thought that was funny. They were all like, no, don't do. Oh, fuck.
He tore that goddamn sail again.
So, what are the good moments?
I think that was a funny moment. I liked a lot of the silly jokes, like when he, like the stuff that was just very satire, like when he looks at the girls with the
telescope,
and it like
it gets
stretches out,
a
it gets
scope
longer.
erection.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And I'm watching this with Chloe, and she turned to me and she's like, "Dad, was that an erection joke?" I'm like, Yes, daughter, it was. Okay. And it made me think, wait, this movie's PG? Again, the times. There's a big pirate battle, and Indiana Jones shows up for no fucking reason, fighting the sword guy from Raiders. Also, there's a sword scene, and it just becomes a lightsaber. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And then there were ninjas at the beginning. Like that was pretty funny. I was like, oh my God. And then the music like becomes all like the classic racist like Chinese soundtrack in the background. I was like, oh my God.
I told you to order Chinese. This is ridiculous.
So screenwriter Trevor Farrant blamed everybody else for the film's box office failure, decrying phallic and homosexual jokes which I didn't write, and denouncing product placement from McDonald's and Baskin-Robbins, asserting, "This is not a film, this is a prostitution. The final film is a travesty of my script."
Oh my God.
Producer and star Ted Hamilton, who was the king of pirates, countered Farrant's claims by suggesting he was acting irrationally. Anyway.
Oh, Inspector Clouseau was in this fucking movie.
For no fucking reason, just shows up.
For no reason whatsoever.
And I'm a huge Pink Panther, Inspector Clouseau fan. So, I mean, it was kind of amusing to see someone riff off Clouseau.
They did a pretty good job of doing Clouseau.
I will say, better than Steve Martin.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not saying much.
Hated those movies, dude.
Those are awful.
Name of the fugitive.
Fugitive.
Fugitive. F-U.
Up yours too, Froggy.
So what about the main two leads? Because everything, the coat.
I really liked her. I really liked Christy McNichol. She was good. She was cute. She was funny.
I had a childhood crush on her.
She had a great sense of timing. All her lines were delivered well. Like she could stand up for the close up. Like she could stand the close up. Mm-hmm. Like when they got in her face, she would say a line. It was somewhat believable. Like
you could tell with her, she's smarter than the script. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. She was value added to this film as opposed to everyone else. I felt was just kind of.
I thought Christopher Atkins did a pretty decent job playing an airhead though.
It's nothing at all. Hi. Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to deflower you.
What have I seen him in? Was he in Logan's Run?
No, he was in Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon was his first film.
Oh, that's okay. I watched Blue Lagoon a lot when I was a kid.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah.
I bet you did. Wait, let's unpack that. You were a big Blue Lagoon fan. What did you enjoy like the plot, or was it Brooke Shields was fucking gorgeous?
Don't know. I mean, I was little, like when it was, you know what I mean?
You weren't little for long if you kept watching that movie.
Jesus Christ. Keep pumping. I'm just saying, like, when did it come out?
Blue Lagoon was 80.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty sure like it was on because probably my sister watched it, and then like I liked it, so I watched it a lot after that. And then, I was always kind of into girls. Even when I was little, I was still kind of into girls. You know what I mean? So I probably thought she was really cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was goddamn gorgeous. By the way, his Blue Lagoon sumo wrestler loincloth makes an appearance in this pirate movie.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they go to the ship?
Oh, when they go to the ship,
and for some fucking reason, he's wearing that thong, that man diaper. And I'm like, what?
I thought that scene was kind of funny when, like, and that's the whole thing. Anything where that Christy McNichol is, like, running the scene, no matter how bad everyone else is, like, she holds up so well that it makes it tolerable when she's trying to get him to turn his back, like telling him to do all these different things so that he can like draw the picture of the map that's tattooed on his back. Like, it's funny because of the way that she presents it, and she is like kind of spearheading through that scene.
She's written as a smart character. Her character's written smartly.
And she is. Like, she really is good.
My love, put an old sailor out of his misery. Let's try taking your shirt off.
No. No. How about you? You first.
Why?
You. Because I'm shy. And I'm also a feminist, so that naturally means that the man goes first.
Did you ever see Little Darlings?
No.
With her and Tatum O'Neal? Okay.
No, you sent me that.
It used to come on like heavy rotation on like regular TV, like CBS.
But you did a lot of heavy rotation on that one.
Well, it wasn't even that. Like anything that was racy was cut out, I'm sure.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, she was like a tomboyish kind of character, but I thought she was like really cute. So that added a level of tolerance for me because it's a movie of hers I'd never seen. And I remember growing up quite enjoying her. Not in the way you're suggesting, but...
Yeah, well, come on. I know you did.
Between her and Olivia Newton-John. Holy Christ. I had a thing for white girls. Blonde white women. Keep pumping. What about the Pirate King?
He was pretty funny, but I still think that he wasn't a strong enough actor to really hold up the scenes that he was in. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were times where he was funny, but to tell you the truth, it's kind of sad. Like, I wonder if I could have seen his face better, I would have felt differently about that. You know what I mean? Because the version was so bad. Not by that by no means makes me feel like I should go back and watch this film again. Definitely not. It won't change my opinion that much.
Well,
let's just say that.
Speaking of blurry lenses, the beach montage.
Oh God.
When they first spot one another, and it's that awful slow that 80s love song, and then. They did you notice a shot where they start riding horses? Camera doesn't even pan up to show them like their faces on the horse.
Oh yeah,
it just like dissolves into a horse scene, and I guess it's them riding the horse, and then back to them walking. I'm like,
what? Why?
And then what do you call it, Mike? When the face is like it's like the Lion King's. Simba,
Oh yeah, when it's up in the corner.
The corner. What's that? It's a total early '80s thing.
I don't know. It's
but
it's like the
high cheese.
It's so cheesy, dude.
Cheddar.
It's so cheesy.
Like the sharpest cheddar cheese ever.
And I feel first love.
What about you? What were some parts that you enjoyed or absolutely hated, or I don't know, that just stand out to you?
Well, I will say hate is a strong word. I didn't hate this movie.
I didn't hate it either. It was just tough to watch.
I knew it's different when you're going in knowing this movie is going to be awful.
Right.
The bar is set so low, you're not like offended by anything, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my tolerance, and also it's half the length of the other movie I'm about to bring up. My tolerance for this movie was way higher. I wasn't screaming at the TV for it to end, right? Compared to something like Beau is Afraid, which is this pretentious, has all this, you can tell how highly it thinks of itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
This movie, I don't feel like they really got the joke until it was out. They didn't realize how bad it was until they had cut it together and they were like, fuck, there's no salvaging this piece of shit. You know what I mean?
You know what? They cut a lot of lines of cocaine.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying. It's the 80s, man.
Well, they definitely had one cocaine joke in the movie.
Was that with the dad? And
Yeah, with the dad.
Because I rewound that, and I was like,
yeah.
Is that a cocaine joke?
Uh-huh.
I rewound it. It's like, no, Daddy, this is Chloe. She's talking about the wine glass. I'm like, okay.
A little sniff to get me through?
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I kind of wish there was some Coke on the table. Like, go for it.
Oh, Chloe, you're so sweet. I thought there was a pile of cocaine. I thought she lifted up the.
It revealed a wine glass.
Did it?
Yeah.
I thought I saw a pile of white underneath there. But then again, like I said, it was so blurry, like I could barely tell.
I mean, I gave myself 3 rewinds. Then I was like, fuck it.
It ain't worth it.
We're just elongating the end of this movie. So.
Just a snort or two.
I really like Christy McNichol. I thought she did a fine job. For it to be the early 80s, this is circa Porky's and all this other shit, where it was like male testosterone driven sex comedies. It was nice that she was the smartest one in the movie.
Absolutely.
And although there was sexual innuendo,
there wasn't gratuitous nudity. She wasn't played as like a...
Yeah, she wasn't objectified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There was a little bit of sweetness to it. So
she was getting over on everyone else in the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought. That's one thing I noticed about this movie is there was like a sweetness to it. Mm-hmm. It was lighthearted and fun, but at the same time, I just wish it really leaned into the satire. I felt like it actually would have been a much better film.
Well, Chloe, at the end, she beat me to the punch. She was like, who is this movie for?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because it's got a lot of silly jokes a kid would laugh at. But then in the next scene, there's like an erection. Like the telescope thing is subtle enough that a kid would just laugh at it and you don't have to like.
Yeah.
But then there was like some outright blatant.
Yeah.
This is a sex joke, right? So it's this is a movie where it's a miracle it exists.
What about at the beginning when he's like, I'm leaving you guys. And then it's like, why would you leave? Like the sea is your, should be your mate. It's like, do you guys miss anything from land? And they're like, they all yell, sex!
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, on the nose. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Tell him, men, have you missed anything these 20 years at sea?
Sex!
I took notes.
Let's hear your notes. They can't be as good as the Showgirls notes. That was a good line of notes.
Bejeweled jockstrap. Again, my daughter has a lot of gems she was dropping. She was like, wait, so if his jockstrap is bejeweled, like maybe that's his version of a pirate hat because he's not wearing a pirate hat. And then later he shows up with the pirate hat at the end with the jockstrap. She was like, no, wait, that blows my whole theory. Telescope hard on, which we talked about, beach montage, magic mine horses. Squeaky crotch, sumo diaper.
Squeaky crotch, right? That was funny.
Oh, Pirate King is budget Rutger Hauer.
That's true.
It occurred to me he looks an awful lot like Rutger Hauer midway through the movie.
That's true.
Okay. Period inaccurate cop uniforms, but
yeah, what's with the Keystone cops?
But also the beach bunnies in the beginning. That was like the 20s style beach. Like bathing suits. I don't think they had that. But yeah, the Keystone cops show up. So
that was really weird.
At a certain point, they were like, fuck it. Yeah, because by that point, Inspector Clouseau shows up and they're supposedly in the 1800s. So
I bet you the costume designer was like, look, I cannot find army uniforms.
No, get it right. Wait, first, the designer's like, hold on. Look, guys, I can't help you. We're fresh out of stock of all these fucking period uniforms. Look, I got a Clouseau jacket and I got some Keystone Cop uniforms.
That's exactly what happened.
Hey, it's called Whiteout. Change the script and let's get going.
That's what I think happened. I don't think he could find it or he didn't have the budget to rent them.
You don't think it was written?
I mean, why the fuck would they have cops? They talk about mustering a big army,
right?
And then they show up in cop uniforms. It makes no fucking sense. It seems to me like they were like, look, we cannot afford these costumes. They will give us these 20s like British police costumes for the money we have. Like, are you okay with that? And they're like, well, do we have a choice? They're like, not really.
Oh, we're threatened by the brutes. Tarantara, tarantara. And your otters in your boots. Tarantara. There is nothing rings it round like the trumpet's martial sound.
Like the trumpet's martial sound.
Hurrah, 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 hurrah.
The battering ram on the doorbell was funny.
That was funny.
I like that.
I actually like that joke too. That was
nice.
pretty good. Then he opens the door when the other battering ram goes through, and the king walks in and like gives his coat and everything to the butler. Like it's just nothing. I thought that was a nice little moment.
By that point, and especially the climax when it was just a free for all, anything goes. It reminded me of Blazing Saddles, the end climax where they actually went out of the other movie.
I hated that part of Blazing Saddles, actually,
I
to
love
tell you
that.
the truth.
I loved it.
I thought that was the moment where I was like, okay, I don't care about this movie anymore.
What?
I just got...
Oh, man. I love that.
Now, Blazing Saddles is not looked at as one of his best movies.
No,
let's be
by
real.
who, dude? That's one of his. It's just one of his classics.
Oh, yes, all his movies are classics, but whether or not it's a good movie is a different story.
Blazing Saddles is an amazing movie.
Nah. Up until that point, I think it truly is. After that, I don't really. I can't really agree with you.
Oh, I like the part. See, this is where cleverness. There's some clever moments where during the big brawl, because he's back on the side of the pirates.
Right.
They start like. You think it's going to be a love song montage, and she knees him in the nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Abruptly ending it. So,
and then what she looks at the camera, she's like, "War is hell,"
yeah,
or something like that.
Watching her there, she makes my heart stop.
War is hell.
I don't know, dude. I could see watching this movie as a young person is catching at the right age and it like being endearing. You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't want to shit on it too much because
tell you the truth, it was kind of endearing to me. I mean, I think we both feel that way, that it was kind of an endearing
What I'm saying,
movie,
it would have resonated even deeper if we had seen it.
But it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think like the things we talked about before, like her being such a great character and her being a good actress and her being a strong female lead with all these bumbling idiot guys made her just so likable,
right?
That you really did enjoy her on screen anytime that she, you got to see her act. So
you're right. You use the word anchor. I think she's the main reason why this movie is remembered.
Oh, yeah. There is nothing else in this movie that really elevates it to the point to where anyone would give a shit about it, in my opinion. Like, she is what makes this movie likable.
Right. She is the smartest thing in the movie. Literally.
Yeah, but not just smart.
figuratively.
Like, she's smart, she's like, inviting, like she's nice, you know what I mean? Like she has all the best qualities of a human being and she acts pretty damn well. And it's hard to act well when you're surrounded by shit actors.
By awfulness.
Could you imagine how good she would have been if she had a couple good actors around her?
Yeah.
Oh my God. She'd have been amazing. And I think the movie would have been so much better if they'd have gotten at least one more powerhouse.
Yeah.
Three. They had her and then the main kid and the king. Those three.
The dad actor was fine. I thought
he was good.
Yeah.
He was good, but he wasn't in it enough.
Right.
He was very supporting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, and I thought at the end, I know it's a different movie, but I almost wish they didn't do the dream sequence thing and just
just let it be
maybe
a
they
movie.
shipwrecked on like an island with a zany bunch of characters or whatever. And
like, why? What did it being a dream add to the movie?
Nothing, because there's no real. I mean, there was a plot, but
I mean, they did a musical number in the real world at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And they didn't establish that she liked musicals or anything going into that, so it doesn't really matter that it's a dream. It can just be a musical. I mean, movies are musicals sometimes.
And how about him in the real world at the end? He finds her on the beach and just like fucking starts tonguing her down.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Hey man, it's the 80s.
Look, that's not even me tooing it. That's even weird for the 80s. Like because in the real world, they have not established any kind of romance or relationship. The movie takes place in a fucking dream.
He went for it, though. He went for it, and she reciprocated.
Yeah, that's what you do, Mike. You just go for it. Yeah.
In the 80s, if you do.
Keep bumping.
I think we're kind of saying the same thing. What I'm saying is, Chris McNichol was such an endearing character, even in the dream sequence. and outside the dream sequence.
Right.
It would have been nice to have a movie that actually had a character arc and journey with that character.
Absolutely.
Right? And then that kiss at the end will really mean something, as opposed to, fuck it, it's a fantasy, it's a farce, whatever. Look, Xanadu is probably my version of this.
Never seen it.
I saw it as a young lad. I had a huge crush on Olivia Newton-John. I love the music. The music is fucking great. Yeah, there's some awful in it, but at least it had some kind of a plot structure. It had some fantasy elements, but it was still grounded enough, and you could track kind of the arc of the character. Again, it's not fucking deep or anything. But what my point I was trying to make is, because the film couldn't decide what it wanted to be, and we mentioned like Naked Gun and Airplane, even those movies have character development and arc.
Absolutely.
Just because there's zany shit and sight gags going on, that doesn't mean there is an actual story. It remains true no matter what genre you're in. You gotta have some kind of narrative. It felt like it wanted to be Wizard of Oz with the whole, dream and people from
exactly.
her
I was thinking the same
real
thing.
life. In the opening sequence, they showed up again as like characters, but when you don't give a shit, when there's no real story, and the scenes just seem to just, especially in the middle, it really began to like drag and sag.
Yeah.
Like when he went back to the pirates, I felt like a lot of energy was lost.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Like the energy was between them. Like they charged the film forward, in my opinion. And yeah, once they separated, it was like, meh. And
it would have been an easy fix. Like, I thought they were going to do this where she was going to be clever and figure out a way to outsmart the Pirate King.
Right.
Have him pretend to go back, but they have a whole, like, plot, elaborate thing going on. But no, he just went back. Oh, did you notice the outtake? Did your version have the outtake at the end?
At the very end?
The one
Yeah.
outtake?
Yeah.
And it was her chewing gum, right?
Yeah, she's like, someone needs to take the gum while she's in the suit of armor.
So there's a little bit of backstory behind that. Apparently,
Okay.
her and director didn't get along. She frustrated him because she always had fucking gum she was chewing, and she would just like pack it in her cheek. When the scenes
really?
about to begin, because it was weird. It was like one little outtake, and it wasn't like a super funny outtake. Normally, you have outtakes in movies, you'll have a whole string of them.
And they're funny as hell half the time. They fucking bring down the house,
I feel like that's director, like, just one more
like,
poking the bitches.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have
That's
one
what he's
outtake,
like,
and it's going to be you. So I'm going to show the world how you made my life miserable.
Yeah. And the funny thing is he does that, and it's like all it does is show how cute and endearing she is. You know what I mean? It's not even funny, but it just shows how cute she is. You know what I mean? And that was pretty funny. Like, joke's on you, asshole.
We'll take one.
What? Someone better take my gum.
It's cut.
5. I just want to say that it's not all sunglasses and autographs.
I'm just saying this is an objectively bad movie, but it is endearing. And I don't want to say it has heart.
Charm. I would say charm.
It has charm. That's exactly what it has. It is kind of charming. And I think that is something Autumn actually said to us, that it's kind of charming. Because it is. It is a charming film that's absolutely horrible. But I didn't find myself hating the fact that I was watching it. I found myself like thinking, oh my God, like I want this to be over, but I wasn't like angry that I was watching it.
It is charming. It is a snapshot. Films will never be made like this ever again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can say that from any era. Pick a film from any era. It's like, they don't make it like that anymore. And for whatever it's worth, they don't make it like this anymore. Right?
For better or worse.
Yeah, for better or worse. Like, plot's not that important. No, let's just have fun. I want to believe they had fun on that set, but probably, I don't know. There's like drama. But the film feels free.
It does. It does.
Free of plot, free of rhyme or reason.
Free of anything that makes a
stream
movie
of
good.
Consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like, recommendations on the day were like, yeah, let's do that. Why not? Right.
Yeah. And then the script supervisor's, but blah, 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 blah. And he's like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's fine. No worries. It'll be fine.
Hey, Star Wars is hot. Raiders is hot. let's have some gags. Let's get those guys in there, right?
And my whole thing is like, well, now I'm beating a dead horse, right? They didn't stay in the satire long enough, and when they did, they didn't really punctuate it. If you do a gag that has to do with Star Wars, if you do a gag that has to do with Indiana Jones, you have to punctuate it with something that actually kind of breaks the fourth wall with commentary on that fact to make that joke land well. Whereas stuff that's just satiristic, like the doorbell with the battering ram, that worked because it's just an expectation subversion. And that's fine. Yeah. But you got to keep doing that. You can't start going into this like it's a normal love story.
Well, even with the Indiana Jones gag, it wasn't even a gag.
No, he just showed up and shot a guy.
Like there was no like, again, harken to Airplane. Airplane would do that, but it was woven into the comedy.
Exactly.
There was some thought. Those guys didn't just say, fuck it, let's put that in there. The Zuckers, we're going to put this in there. How are we going to make this work? And what would make this what's the funniest way to have a nod to this iconic thing?
Right.
You know, this icon of the time. If they were to pick a lane and probably just full on satire, because when the love songs pop up, I can see executives, they wanted like a top Billboard 100 song, right? Because Christian McNichol was a singer.
They could have kept every single song exactly the way it was.
Right.
But the stuff that was going on during those songs,
they took it serious.
When she's up in the up in the corner, her face is superimposed. How funny would it have been if she's like singing, being all pretty, singing very pretty, and it's funny, and then it's a superimposed shot, and all of a sudden the boom mic just kind of hits her in the face while she's singing or something.
Right.
Something like just some sort of dumb gag to keep you in that satiristic feel.
Right. Like, or a flock of birds fly by and she ducks.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And she's like singing and like looking around or something, like
the bird poops on her shoulder or whatever.
You can't go longer than a minute or two without some sort of dumb gag, in my opinion.
Well, I'm telling you why they took those sequences so serious, because I believe they wanted those songs to chart because she was super hot.
But it doesn't matter. But no, they would have.
They're worried in the movie. What I'm saying is, I bet executives were worried that if they made it parody in a movie, it would diminish the song in some way. So that because they took, I'm agreeing with you. They wanted to be a serious love song surrounded by craziness.
But they're missing the point, right? The song is never going to chart without the movie being somewhat recognized as a good movie, right?
Yeah.
So no one's going to take notice of it unless the movie is doing well. And to make the movie do well, you have to put those jokes in there. You're shooting yourself in the foot by saying, let's make these love songs serious and not put any jokes in here because we want it to chart.
And that's just my theory. It could have been the director. It could have been...
No, but I agree. I think you're right. You're probably right.
I should mention this. There are reasons why this film may have turned out the way it did. The original director, Richard Franklin. Yeah, he was an Australian director. And the cast really resonated with him because he was much younger. So when he was replaced with the guy who was way, way older.
I wonder why they replaced him.
Well, this is interesting. McNichol, who had final script approval, clashed with Franklin over his vision for the film, resulting in Franklin's sudden departure from the production. So Miss McNichol clashed with the director, and they hired another guy. Being twice the age of his predecessor, there were concerns within the cast about his suitability for the role.
Good job, Christy. Good job.
Yeah. We've been doing nothing but praising you, and then suddenly, wait, you might be...
We realize you fucked this film.
But the reason why we're reviewing this is a very special lady named Autumn. And at this moment, I would like to hear from Autumn. Wouldn't you, Mike?
Absolutely.
So
what has Autumn got to say about this?
Who cares what we have to say about this? Let the woman herself step into the spotlight and tell us why this movie is special and amazing and the best movie ever made. That's her words. I'm quoting.
Did she say that?
Sure.
Okay, we'll go with that. With that.
Take it away, Autumn.
This movie came out in 1982. I was 10 years old. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it when it rolled around to whenever it was on TV, which probably was about a month after it came out of theaters.
Well, you know what? It was up against E.T. and like a bunch of crazy big movies.
Yeah.
An Officer and a Gentleman, like it had no chance. Oh,
I don't think it would have had a chance against any movie.
That same period, Mike, they re-released Star Wars.
Oh my!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. So even if it wasn't what it is, it still probably wouldn't have caught much attention.
So it gets a little bit of a failure hall pass, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And I also think if it was the only movie that was released that month, I still don't think it would have been successful. It is a train wreck of a movie. I know that it is. I love it so much. And
wait, did you see it when you were 10? So you were
No,
10
I didn't see it when I was 10, but it was probably around 11 or 12. You know, just think about at that period of time, whatever the life cycle was when it would have ended up on TV.
Right. Sure.
And so, somewhere around 12, 13, something like that, saw this movie on TV, maybe rented it at the local video store, something like that. I can't tell you the circumstance of the first time I saw it, but I can tell you the emotion of the first time that I saw it.
This is what I want to know.
Yeah, now we get into it.
I thought this was the most chaotic, delightful, unhinged, silly, ridiculous, kind of naughty. When I was that age, it's like, oh, it's naughty because it's very, it's kind of like the equivalent of what Spaceballs would be for that type of audience. You know what I mean? So it's very ridiculous.
Were you like, Dad, what's an erection?
And
what's a nympho?
Exactly. Like, there's some things, and every time I watch it, as I watch it and I get older and older, there's new things that are delightful. There's new things that are ridiculous.
I just imagine young Autumn saying, Dad, I want to be a pirate because they love sex.
I remember one of the first things that I loved about that was suddenly there's a lightsaber battle in the middle of their sword fight.
Right.
I thought, what? And I loved Star Wars. I was a big Star Wars fan. And I thought that was just unhinged, just completely crazy. What I love about this movie is if you don't know anything about it, you have no idea what to expect. And even when you start to watch it and get in the flow of, okay, I think I get what this is. Oh no, it's something completely insane gets thrown in there. And it's just, the thing that really captured my attention were things like, at that time, as a kid, like the stopping and talking to the camera, the breaking that wall. Yeah. And Christy McNichol, is complete icon, like hero of mine at that age. She was such a badass.
That was one of the things we both really enjoyed about this movie was the fact that she was so good. Like
she was the smartest written character.
Yeah, exactly.
And she wasn't sexualized.
No, not at all.
Like she was so kind smart. Of a male role in it.
Yes.
In a way, right?
Yeah.
Like,
she led that movie. She definitely was never sexualized. She was never objectified. She ran the show. And literally when you get to the end and she says, freeze frame, this is my dream. This is my story. And she changes everything and she's putting everybody together. And then they launch into the best song, Give Me a Happy Ending. I love that song. And then later on realizing, oh, that's also naughty. Like you learn more things. But like, it's delightful. And the fact that but it's so problematic. It is so problematic and so progressive at the same time.
And Mike and I, we throughout our review, we were trying to peg it what it is, and charm was the word.
Yeah.
But also weirdly innocent charm, even though it was loaded with sexual innuendo. Yeah. It didn't feel gross.
Yeah.
Or sleazy. And this is the Porky's era of the 80s, right? Where it could have easily tipped into that ickiness, but it never went there. Like it got right up to the edge and then it just kind of choked.
And it definitely, it's 1982, so definitely it was culturally normal to have that layer of racism and that layer of sexism on there. That was just like normal for the time. And so watching it now, it is a little bit uncomfortable, like, oh, that's not great. It's not great. And it is, but she's like this feminist icon in the middle of this
nostalgic racism.
Like
this is a person of color. It's like, oh yeah, I remember when movies would make fun of black people.
Racist but like in a fun way.
And the Chinese.
It's terrible. It's
I
terrible.
don't remember ordering Chinese.
Oh, God, it was so bad. So bad. And like the ninja fights in the middle of it. I mean, it was just, and then all the bobbies singing Tarantara, they were delightful. And then like all of a sudden it's like speed up motion, and then they're very silly. And it's like, it's completely silly and insane.
Wait, what's your favorite song? Because Mike and I have a favorite song. We actually, it was the only song we liked.
I have a favorite song, but that was my favorite song. But I do like one other one just because it's so naughty. Like
pumping and
blowing.
Yeah. I also remember being a little kid thinking that all of a sudden it's cool too, because they're playing that cool music. You know what I mean? Like they're putting pop music in this thing. And so like you have like the Major General song, but then you also have like pop music in there. And so it was just like, this is so cool. And at the time as a kid thinking this is so out there.
Right. Haven't ever really listened to that Major General song for the podcast edit. It's fucking phenomenal, dude.
You know, well, you want to know why?
Word, if you really listen to it,
it really is. But you know why it's such a good song, right? It was like one of the only songs directly taken from the Pirates of Penzance, the actual musical that it's off.
Well, Tarantara was taken.
Oh,
there's four. There's four. I'm gonna try not to actually. I'm a little bit of actually. Yep. There's four songs that were from the original film. Tarantara was one of the pirate. It's like a kind of forgettable pirate theme song was, and then that one. But what they did with, and I forget the fourth one, but the one I loved about the Major General song specifically was how they changed the lyrics. Like we're older than the Beatles but younger than the Rolling Stones. Like little, and you just, if you're not listening, it goes by so fast.
And there's a Bo Derek erection joke.
Yes, there is.
Like
I mean. It's
for me, that's what made it. It's the lyrics.
Yes.
Like
the lyrics.
The lyrics were great.
But it was cleverly rewritten.
Yeah.
And I would say the dance number is probably
it was really good.
Everyone's
so good
in that film.
And I loved Tarantara's entire number with the whispering Tarantara. They're hiding and like their march dancing was all great. I loved that one. My favorite is the final song, Happy Ending, just because of the emotion of it all. Like it's the end, and she took control and gave herself a happy ending, and it was just. I mean,
although some of those, like particularly that one, it felt like the dance number was figured out like after lunch
on site
that day.
That day, and just before they rolled cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I absolutely love it. One of my.
How many times have you seen it, Autumn?
Oh my gosh. I would say I probably watch it at least 2 or 3 times a year.
Wow. But not the whole way through, right? You're doing other stuff while you're watching.
No, I don't sit and just watch it by myself the whole time through. But one of my pastimes is finding people to watch it that haven't seen it and watching it with them, and then kind of snickering quietly to myself.
Wait. Here's the real super fan test.
Yes.
Do you listen to the soundtrack?
I have, yes.
Of course she has. Yeah, you needed an answer on that.
Wait, are you bumping it in your car as well?
Yeah, like let's rock.
Yeah.
I hosted a foreign exchange student from Italy a few years ago. Like 5 years ago.
And you forced that poor child to watch
the same age as my daughter. So like I have a teenager, and then this girl came and stayed, and she was definitely part of the family. And it's like, let's watch this together. My kids had never seen it. And so it became like this. Watching their reaction to it is part of the joy for me of the movie. Right. So I wanted so badly to watch it with you guys just so that I could watch you watch it, because I love seeing people go, what is this? What?
Well, that brings up something interesting because I watched it with my daughter. She's 13. Okay. And at the end she was like, what's this movie made for, Dad? Because it was loaded with like super silly sight gags, but then it had like erection jokes with the telescope. What age did you show it to your kids? Like, or
my kids were like 14, 15.
Was that when they first saw it?
I really think the litmus test is if you would show your kids Spaceballs, because Spaceballs also is raunchy, and it's the same level. You know what I mean? And I think it's I think so. I mean, it's a little bit.
I need to
it's a little
rewatch
raunchier.
Yeah,
but or definitely like I don't know. It's in that whole era of like Blazing Saddles too. Like that one was.
God bless cocaine. That's all I gotta say.
Did you do the same thing when like you were younger, like when you were like 14, 15, like in middle school and high school? Were you watching it then, or was it something that like you reacquired your appreciation for later on?
Well, it's definitely something that was reacquired when it became more accessible because it's not like you could find the movie. You know what I mean? It wasn't and so it would just come on sometimes on TV, and I go, "Oh my god!" Or I would see it in the TV guide when you could hit like record. You know, like put a tape in, and like, okay, cool, I finally got it with commercials in it. Yeah. So it's just kind of whenever I could catch it.
This is why I say all the time, YouTube is the greatest invention.
YouTube,
ever. You can find any figment of your imagination. You can find them.
And I think I tracked down the DVD on eBay like 20 years ago. I tracked it down. It took me months to find it because nobody had it. And I found it, bought it. And when I purged my entire DVD collection a few years ago, because who needs it?
You bought it from Christopher Atkins.
Right, yeah, exactly.
When I left my last job over at Sideshow, the fans of the Facebook group were kind enough to get a cameo of Christopher Atkins, wishing me like basically saying, "Hey, Autumn," and so glad you're a fan of the movie and all of that stuff. That's awesome. It was great. I will cherish that forever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great. I don't know. I think it's a great movie. It's really. It's to me, it's just delightful and joyful. I love it.
That was one thing we said is like it's not trying to. There's no ill will in it. You know what I mean? It's like it's just kind of as ridiculous and as all over the place and chaotic as it is. It's just it's not trying to put anyone down. It's just having a good time. It's like you said, very charming.
Do you have a favorite part, Autumn? Is there one that stands out?
I love the whole. Okay, can we talk about how he discovers how he's born on a leap year and he goes to tell her that he can't be with her till he's 84 or something like that, and then he walks away on water?
Oh yeah, what was that?
What is that?
And then he suddenly falls in.
It's like
there's no reason for it. It's never established that that's a thing.
Is it a being? I don't know if you guys have seen Being there with Peter Sellers, but the end of that movie, because he's so oblivious reality, he walks away on water.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is that not?
It could have been.
Because they're ripping off everything. That was like 1980, so why the fuck not, right?
Why not? And it's the fact that it was not acknowledged. It wasn't.
I know. It's just like this throwaway thing. It just happened. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
I love that whole scene between them and, them realizing they're going to have to be on opposite sides now and they're going to fight and just... I don't know.
How many lines of blow you think were consumed?
All of it. All
the blow.
All the blow.
Just all the cocaine.
Just
all of it.
Hey, playing for Columbia, just land it right here.
Yeah,
right here.
Cut out the middle, man. Just right here. We got a runway.
Yeah.
They just threw it up in the air and hit the fan and just exploded into the room.
Everyone got their happy ending.
Let Autumn can settle this. Okay. Was the Major General doing blow? Do you remember that? Of course you know the joke. Because I rewound it 3 times and my daughter's like, "No, Dad." He covered the wine glass. But what he said was more evocative of he got caught with blow.
A sniff.
Sniff.
Yeah. I think it's meant to be like, and like without, I didn't think they want to make it look like this guy is doing drugs, because I think that crosses the line out of the charming thing. But I think they really wanted you to go there.
It's really, it still is implied.
It's implied, yeah.
Visually, they just had a wine.
Yeah, because at the time, like a snuff box was basically them doing drugs. Like that's what that was. And so, yeah, I think it was supposed to be a very soft implication without actually being like there's drug use in this movie,
that part they'll be period accurate. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like around about I'd say reaching the climax of the movie, when the Keystone Cop showed up, the movie was like, fuck it, whatever.
It just went absolutely apeshit. It's just
who cares?
No holds barred. Let's do this. Throw all the wrestlers into the ring at the same time. It's total pandemonium. Anything can happen.
Let's just throw Indiana Jones in there for no reason.
I was about to
Sure, why not?
Tarzan swinging by too.
Yeah.
It was chaotic. And there's a food fight. Like the baker comes out for no reason with a bunch of pizzas, and everybody starts throwing pizzas. It's like, sure, why not?
And I like in that
chaos.
last battle, the Keystone Cops, it was very forward thinking to like Rodney King, because they were
Oh yeah,
Yes!
and they were like, "Oh, get the camera out of here!"
Oh my god, I forgot that
very
part.
ahead of its time.
That was
it was
very
ahead of its time. Because 1982, it's not like there's a lot of video cameras around. There were some, but it wasn't that prevalent. So like, it was.
And police brutality. Who knew?
Who knew it could be so funny to have a police brutality joke in there?
It's the golden years. No one really filmed them. So
It's police brutality, but like in a fun way.
Yeah. So good on you, the pirate movie.
I love them. I thought it was fearless and ridiculous and terrible and charming and chaotic. And I want to be all those things.
So I think we're at the part where, unless there's more you want to say, where we want to get your rating of this movie. Now,
let's get there.
Now you're familiar with our rating, right? Like
Okay.
out of 5 stars, and typically we'll say,
We'll give it a thing.
Bejeweled cod pieces.
Yeah, 5, 4.5.
I think Bejeweled Cod Pieces is a great rating system for this one. It's tricky. Like, do I have to defend my criteria? Because I mean, it's not like it's gonna win an
have to
Oscar.
defend shit.
No,
it's
like
To me, out of all the movies that I love in the world, this is a 5. I will watch this again and again and again. Like, I will never not love it.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you for that.
5 out of 5. What though?
5 out of 5 Bejeweled Cod Pieces was perfect. I'm just gonna back you up on that one.
All right, perfect. Well, you heard it there, folks. Just forget everything you just heard us say. Autumn is the voice you should really listen to.
Take it from the professional. Like, if anyone's going to tell you about this movie, it's definitely her.
So enjoy, and let us know in the comment sections what you guys think. And if you're mad about watching this, you can blame Autumn.
Yeah,
absolutely blame
it's
me.
absolutely her fault. We blame her, so you should too.
You will be forever changed.
She's strong enough to take it. So dish it out. Like Batman that way.
Absolutely, bring it.
So, what are you gonna rate it, Mike?
I will rate it. I don't even know, man. This is a hard one for me. Like, I don't even know what to rate this
because
thing.
We're using the scale we use to rate Oppenheimer and other like real movies.
Yeah, right.
It feels like,
oh God, how do you put it on the same scale as that?
Even like Rebel Moon, which I gave a star to.
I like this better than that.
Yeah, I'd say I did,
because it had charm. Rebel Moon was just charmless and boring and just lame. This movie
had more character development.
It had character. Like, it had more character development than fucking Rebel Moon.
Yeah, I have a room upstairs with relatively clean sheets.
As opposed to Rebel Moon, which has millions of dollars and all this, it feels like it was generated in a factory.
Ugh, fuck that movie.
The pirate movie was not generated in a factory.
There ain't no factory pumping out this movie.
They haven't invented a conveyor belt for this fucking
exactly,
movie. So.
Exactly. I got mine. I got mine. 2 out of 5. Christy McNichols with a bad haircut and glasses to make her look ugly.
2 Mabels out of 5.
2, 80s
Mabels.
Yeah, 2 present day Mabels out of 5.
Because she was Mabel in the dream too, right?
Yeah, 2 present day beginning of the movie Mabel. Because by the end of the movie, she was looking hot. When all they had to do was take her glasses off.
I didn't know what I was going to give it until we had a Rebel Moon conversation. And you're right. I have more positive things to say about this than Rebel Moon. So I'll give it a 2. 2 Christy McNichol floating heads over magical horses on a beach out of 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
So if you would like to support this show, keep us going, keep us rolling along, uploading content, you can support us by going to patreon.com/baldguysbadmovies and donate to the show. We're going to use those funds to make sure we can see any movies that you guys want to see and getting our studio set up so we can start recording video and doing these not just audio but also video on YouTube. And once a month, we will pick a patron to choose a movie for us to review. And we'll review it. We'll dedicate it to you. But either way, we just hope you enjoy the show and keep on coming back.
Hi, Autumn. It's Christopher Atkins, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for being such a huge fan of the pirate movie. Am I good or am I good, Autumn? Oh, yes, Autumn. Give me a happy ending.
Keep bumping.